Hi everybody, sorry I can't be there. I'm in sunny but chilly San Francisco here at Alcatraz. As you can see, there it is, the U.S. Penitentiary, looking for a place to retire because this will be my last semester as General Manager and News Advisor at the Kansan. So it's going to be fun, especially under the great leadership of Hannah and all the good folks that she has there. We're going to do a lot of exciting things this semester. And I'm just here to remind you of a few things and talk about a few things, and then I'm going to head off and enjoy the good food here in Northern California while my wife and I are visiting our son and his girlfriend. Anyway, one thing I always like to say for you newbies out there is what is the UDK? It is an independent student organization. Yes, we have a close relationship with the School of Journalism, but it is independent and it has its own constitution. And it is student run. So Hannah and her counterpart on the business side are responsible for virtually everything that's in the Kansan and what it does and how it does. And all the good work that you guys do. And I have great respect for you and what you do. I tell people I came here 17 years ago on faculty in great part because of the University Daily Kansan and the wonderful, unique relationship it had with the school, but the work it did. I spent 34 years at newspapers, and for the past 11 years I've been doing this job, and when I tell my colleagues in the business how the Kansan works, that students get out a daily paper every day. For the students, 11,000 copies circulated around campus. They are amazed, particularly since everybody virtually changes jobs every 4 months. So I'm here and doing what I do because I love it and because of the respect I have for you all. Now, a few things. The key to success here is loyalty, agreeing to do what you're going to do and dedicate yourself to it. And I guarantee you, no matter what you do in life after here, if you do that, you will look back on your Kansan experience and say, it had a great effect on my success and how I did it. So take it seriously, work hard, and I guarantee you 5 years from now, you're going to look back and say, that was the best experience I could have possibly had. I'd like to remind everybody about audience. Audience is perhaps the most important thing. Everything you do, you should think of audience. Audience is, number one, 18 to 22-year-olds walking around campus with buds in their ears. And you have to do things that grab their attention. You have to write stories, you have to do graphics, you have to take photographs. They're going to speak to those 18 to 22-year-olds who are walking up and down Jayhawk Boulevard, oftentimes having to be prodded into picking up the Kansan. When they do, they find it valuable, but we've got to get them to pick it up, and to do that, everything you do has to speak to them. So please keep that in mind when every headline you write, every story you write, every photo you take, every graphic you make, every decision you make, think about who your audience is and how you can best speak to them. And one little sidelight goal here, and I think if we keep this in mind, will be a great success. We're basically a small town community paper that speaks to a lot of people from a lot of different places. So my goal, as a stated goal to the editors of the Kansan all the time, is let's try and get everybody who lives on this campus, get their name in the paper for something other than an MIP. So that means covering every little thing, getting their names in there, doing everything you can. When you take a photo, identify everybody. When you're doing a story, try to get as many names into that story as you possibly can. That tells people out there that we're covering them and we're doing what they're doing, and they'll pick up the paper. A little note on diversity. You're going to have a session on diversity. Please pay close attention to it. But we live in a very diverse environment that goes far beyond just ethnicity, race, or the color of people's skin. It's everything they do. And everybody on this campus is diverse in some way or another. And our goal as journalists is to find out that and cover it and make sure it finds its way into the Kansan. Our goal is to reflect the entire KU community, not just a select few or the people who look like us. So during the diversity session, please do two things. Listen to what's said, but also have a conversation about it. And I've already talked to Hannah about incorporating in budget meetings diversity as well as everything else. What we cover, but how we can cover it and make sure that we're being as diverse as possible. Let me see, plagiarism. Yes, a topic. And believe it or not, this confronts us almost every semester. Let me tell you, if you plagiarize, two things will happen. Number one, a story with likely your photo will appear in the Kansan. And two, and it's board policy, you will be immediately dismissed from the Kansan, period. It's that simple. So what do you do if you're faced with a question of is it plagiarism or is it not? You walk up to one of the editors, and specifically maybe even Hannah, and say, can I do this? And she'll tell you whether it's attributed correctly or not. When you're doing everything, try to over-attribute. It can always be taken out, but it's a lot harder to put in because oftentimes editors don't know whether you've borrowed it or it's done that way exactly. And time pressure is not an excuse. If editors put pressure on you to put something in a story that you're uncomfortable with, say no. Okay? Bring it to your attention. And if the editors aren't listening to you, you can come to my office and talk to me, and I will help. A big problem at the Kansan is it tends to suck up your time. Let me remind you, your students first and Kansan second. A close second, but the Kansan is second. So make sure that you do that and you balance those properly. And if you need any help in that, come and see me. I'm really good about time management and teaching people to do that. And in about a 2-minute little conversation with you, I can help you with your time management. So if you're running into a problem with that and you're being tugged and pulled, come and see me and I'll help you with that. That brings me to something important. There are 3 full-time professional staff members at the University of Daly Kansan. Myself, John Schlitt, the Sales and Marketing Advisor, and Patty Cromwell. There are 2 things you need to know. Number one, we're there for you. We essentially work for you. We're here to try to facilitate and make things as easy as possible for you so you can do your job as well as you possibly can. So anytime you've got a question and you go to the editors and you may not get an answer you like, please come and see one of us and we'll try to help. And then there's always rule number 2. Whatever you do, don't piss off Patty. Patty has the hardest job on the earth. She deals with students, she deals with numbers, she has to make sure every dollar we earn, and we have to earn those dollars because we're self-supporting, goes through her. So whatever the problem is, be real nice to Patty because it makes your life a lot better and it sure as heck makes ours. And finally, well, almost finally, there are 3 things you need to know about me. Number one, I do like bow ties, and this wonderful bow tie, by the way, was given to me a year or so ago by the wonderful editor of the University of Daly Kansan, Hannah, while she was on a trip to New York. Very thoughtful. And listen, I want everybody out there to learn how to tie these things because I don't want you wearing a clip-on. I do not want you wearing a clip-on at any wedding or anything else. And let me tell you, once you learn it, it's real easy to do. So you come and see me and we'll do this. Now, the second thing is I'm also, faculty advisor to the KU Juggling Club. So if anybody wants to learn to juggle, I'm happy to do that. These are cows, by the way, because I live in Kansas. And then also, it's the famous cookie jar, not cookie jar, candy jar. This sits on my desk, okay? And you can come in anytime and get candy. It's always full. So please do that. It gives you an opportunity to come in and see me, but there is one rule that they'll tell you about over and over. When you come in to get candy, don't say a word. Just come in, get candy, and leave, because if you say hi or you say thank you or anything else, I'll get nothing done. So if you need to come in and talk, we'll talk, but if you're coming in for candy, just come in and grab candy and then leave. And finally, I hope all good journalists have noticed that the sign behind me here, this is the sign as you enter Alcatraz. Okay, and I would hope somebody, a good journalist, say, what does this mean, all Indians welcome? Well, the land used to belong to the Native Americans in California, and then they sold it to the United States government to put the prison there. Well, when the prison shut down, the Native American population, at least some of them, thought that the U.S. ought to give the land back to the Native Americans. So in 1969, a bunch of them, about 70 of them, tried to take over Alcatraz. Not all of them made it, but they stood there for almost 2 years, I think, occupying Alcatraz and trying to take it back. They were not successful, but the government has left the sign there. So Indians are welcome, I assume. So anyway, listen guys, have a great semester. I'm sorry I can't be there, but I tell you what, I'm going to take this jacket off. Poof, through the magic of television, I'm now in Big Sur, where I'm going to have a lot better time, and leaving a shadow on the water too. It's amazing how long that is. Where I'm going to certainly enjoy this a lot better than Alcatraz, where I'm going to probably drink a lot of good California beers, and there are some good ones, along with some great seafood. But in the interim, I will be back for the first day of publication. So anyways, you guys be great. Have a great time. Have a lot of fun. Nose to the grindstone, but have a great semester, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.